Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Episode 24 of the Brother Sister Show. I'm Anthony, and I'm joined here with my sister.
Livia.
And why do you laugh every single time?
Because I always think you're going to say it, and then you don't, and you point at me. Also, the way you do the intro is really funny. Intro is really funny because you wave like somebody's watching.
I'm talking to everyone. I don't want to get into it. I get animated.
It's very entertaining for me. I really like it.
But if this is your first time listening, we are siblings, as I said, and we talk about movies. We normally use this podcast to catch up. We'll do that before we get into our movie for this episode, 8th grade. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening.
We also have a special guest.
Yes, we do have a very special guest. It is my girlfriend, Keila. Yeah, she's fantastic, and it was a lovely conversation, a little chit-chat we had with her. We'll get to that after we catch up. But before everything, before all of that, waving my hands a lot, we hit some milestones, guys. We hit some good milestones. So we use a podcast hosting. They host our RSS feed where we post our episodes to. And we hit, on that service, we hit 600 downloads overall. So 600 devices have downloaded one of our episodes.
A 600 individual?
No. I said that wrong. I said that completely wrong. Our episodes have been downloaded 600 times across multiple devices. Yes. Okay. But on Spotify, our episodes have been streamed 500 times.
Pretty good.
Which is pretty good.
For as many episodes, what if we were like 500 times and we have 500 episodes?
That means not even we listened to it. Like just one of us did.
Well, just me, because you edit, so.
That's true.
But I do listen to all of them.
I honestly thought it was going to take 100 episodes, 150. I thought it was going to take a long time.
Really?
For us to get that far. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I didn't really set expectations for how well or not well this podcast was going to do. But either way, I'm happy. Thank you guys for listening. We have 8 ratings on Apple Podcasts as well.
One with words.
One with words. I don't know who it is. I don't know their username, but whoever it was.
Very nice.
Thank you. Let me actually read it. Let me pull it up real fast. I should get it real fast.
Well, why are you doing that? We did start off, and that's one thing I told you. I was like, so we might not get a bunch of people. That's not the goal of this. The goal of this has always been to stay in touch because we live in different cities and we hadn't been like talking to each other as much. And I was like, so let's just figure out a way. And we wanted to do something like this. And I think I broached to you like the pitch that I had was this is a way to keep in touch and to talk about movies, which is 2 things that come easy. So yeah, it's nice that people are like wanting to listen.
Yeah, not just our parents. I mean, they are diehard listeners, but some other people are starting to listen and follow our Instagram, which is cool. At Brother Sister Show, just in case. Yeah, we have 5 out of 5 stars, even though on the little chart it shows 1 or a couple 4 stars. So whoever that was.
Hey.
Wow.
Respect you.
Yeah, this is Neo Knight. This is a long time ago. We should have said this at a later or earlier episode. December 24th, 2019, from Neo Knight. Insightful, fun, and engaging. No Oxford comma there.
Respect
I don't know if it's right to have an Oxford comma or not.
But it depends. That's not a hard and fast rule.
That's an entire other podcast.
Stay tuned for our grammar podcast.
Oxford comma or not.
Episode 1.
But yeah, what's up? Let's catch up. It's been a while.
Been a while. So, I don't know if I've talked about middle ditch and shorts.
Well, I remember when I was editing the last one, we talked about how you said that you were really excited because it was going to come out, and you were also kind of dreading it because you worked the next day, and you weren't going to be able to watch it until later.
Well, I didn't follow my advice. I watched it while I was working. Still very good, but also I've seen so there's 3 specials, each an hour. I've seen each of them 3 times.
They are so good.
So fucking good. And also if and they kind of need a rewatch because there's some jokes you'll miss, and it's
Definitely.
just like so I watched it the first time while I was working, and it was obviously so funny. But then I think the next day or a couple of days after, um, I watched it again, but like not having any distractions, and I laughed just as much and just as hard. So, so, so good. And it came
I
out at like the perfect time.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah.
I can't believe they're so. I mean, they're super funny, but they're so good. They're so fast with it, and their callbacks are just phenomenal.
It makes my brain hurt just
I want to
thinking of
do that
how
so
funny they are.
bad.
Yeah, but
It
there's no
seems like
way.
so much fun to do that, but I don't think I could ever do it.
Well, and they're so good at it that they make it look easy. You
Exactly.
know, so like I mean, you could be good at it, but and also I've been watching a lot of interviews with them, and they've been doing improv together for 10 years. So it's a big like it's not only that they're good at it, but they have such a shared language. And they were talking about how people are asking like how do you know when to initiate? How do you know if you have enough info? And the way that they talked about it is they would just like look at each other, and Ben said that he can like sometimes look at Thomas and just know exactly like when he needs more or when they're good. So that's such a like there's such a good duo because they know. I mean, because we kind of have that, not in an improv space, but like we've known each other our whole lives, so like of course we would have that. So it's really interesting to see 2 people that are not siblings or not related have that kind of connection.
Yeah, because sometimes we'll both know the punchline to the joke that we're about to say, and we'll start laughing beforehand. That's
Yeah.
just they're to the nth degree. It's insane.
They know like the process of thinking. It's insane. But it's very good. I truly cannot recommend it enough.
Same.
This is going to be, because I haven't been to the movies or seen an amazing movie in a long time, this is going to be the new Parasite.
I
I'm not going to fucking shut up about this. But yeah,
love it.
so good. I've also seen, so that is top tier. Another top tier thing that I've seen is Bad Education. I don't know if you've seen it. Somebody on our HBO saw it because it asked if I wanted to restart. Probably
I
mom,
mean,
but so fucking good. So it's on HBO. I think it was on the festival circuit for a while before this whole thing started. It has Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney. Um, but yeah, I don't really want to give much away because I came into this movie like not knowing anything about it other than some of the stuff that Alex Wolf would post on his Instagram.
yeah,
And it's very good. Highly recommend on HBO. And after you see it, maybe we could talk about it more. But you should definitely watch it. I think you'd like it.
yeah. Now that you say Hugh Jackman, mom and dad were watching that. I had no idea. I was like, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, he is so good. I think he's one of those actors that I just forget is that good. And then you
Yeah,
see him in something like you see him in Logan and you're like, oh, he's an actor.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was good. And then 2 things that were not as great. I saw the platform finally, and that was good. So you've seen it, right?
Yeah, super gory at the
So
end.
yeah, I don't. There was one scene that I truly wish I never saw.
I think I know what you're talking about,
When he's
and
trying to climb up.
yeah,
Yep. Why? What was the point of that?
I'm glad I saw
Anyways,
it.
it was kind of funny, and then there was something else that that I watched that had something sim. Oh, so I watched that, and then right after, um, Sebastian wanted to watch Dave, so I watched that with him. He
Oh
wanted to
my
watch the season
gosh.
finale, and I don't know if you know the part. Have you seen it?
Wait, season finale. Is that
The wedding.
Oh, that was the season finale?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not, but he
That
watched
makes me
that
so
episode.
sad if that's a season finale.
maybe it wasn't, but he watched that episode specifically. And so okay, I'll just say it. So in the platform, basically somebody shits on somebody.
Yeah.
And then in that episode of Dave that Sebastian wanted to watch, he was shitting in the woods. And I was like, I've seen too many men shit today, and I don't want this to continue.
Yeah, it was really funny.
The platform though, overall I think it was a good like message. I got the message, but then at the end I was kind of like, what's happening? Like, what is the panna cotta? Why is the kid important? It was just kind of confusing. But
Yeah.
then we looked up an explanation, and it did make a lot of sense. And I liked it. It was really just the execution of it was really good. The way the platform went up and down was very interesting. It does like there's a lot of parallels with Snowpiercer, and I feel like even after watching it, I was like, yeah, this is very reminiscent of Snowpiercer. But it was fine. I don't know. And then we watched The Bling Ring on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No, I think I've heard of this. It sounds super familiar. What is it?
I hated it. So it's based on a true story, and it's about basically these spoiled kids in Hollywood that go around just robbing a bunch of celebrities.
Oh, is Anna Kendrick is in it, right?
No,
No?
Emma
Who's in it?
Watson.
Oh, yes. Mom and Dad were also watching this. Because my office in quotes, my desk is
In the living room.
in the living like kind of attached to the
In a,
living room. So every time I get up to go to the restroom because I've been drinking a ton of water, I catch whatever they're watching. I'll walk by and I'll see huge Ackman. Or yeah, okay.
but there's one part where Emma Watson goes up to this guy and she's like, "I want to rob."
That's a line someone wrote that.
I want to rob. She said it exactly like that, and I fucking screamed. It was so bad. Sebastian and I could not believe what movie we were watching. But yeah, I know I've heard a lot of stuff about it on film Twitter, and I think people like it. I don't know. People just talk about it all the time, and it was not for me. I did not like it. But yeah. Oh, and this isn't catching up, but just a correction. So I was listening to last week's episode, and I was talking about The Sinner, and for some reason I said it was on Prime, which it is not on Prime. It is on Netflix. So if you want to watch both seasons of The Sinner, the first one's really good. Definitely recommend. It's on Netflix, not Amazon Prime. But yeah, that's it. What have you been watching? Or how are you doing, and what have you been watching?
A little stressed, just school, cause it's I'm done next Tuesday,
Ooh,
so it's finals. My first final is actually tomorrow, but I took a
yikes.
practice test and I need to get I don't need to get a high grade to get an A in this class. So
Oh,
I'm chilling as far as that class, but I gotta write a really long paper that I'm not looking forward to that I completely forgot about until
oh.
right now. But it's fine. I mean, it's whatever. Finals, normal stress. That's pretty much it. I haven't had time to watch a whole lot because I've been preparing for the finals, and then I have uh, I gotta I got stuff to do over this summer, so I gotta prepare for that too.
When does that
Uh,
start?
that starts. I guess I can say not
You don't
where,
have to.
but I'm starting my internship May 11th. So yeah, it'll be cool.
Something to do.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I haven't been watching a lot. Watching a lot. But the I've been watching some shows. Ozark I've been slowly trying to watch because like I said, I don't have a lot of time and it's kind of hard to dedicate a whole hour out of my day to sit down and watch an Ozark episode.
Yeah.
But I've been slowly chugging through that. I think I've watched episode 3 of season 2. It's getting really good. Getting real good. And Dave was not the season finale. He had me scared
Oh,
because
sorry.
that episode that you're talking about where he poops into a little pond.
Yeah.
That's my favorite episode of that entire season. It's so good.
Aw.
Just the way it starts, how it's that song, and then the way it ends also, I
I
really like
did
that.
like that.
That
But
was I really like that.
it wasn't as funny as I thought it would be.
Yeah, that was
But
one of the sadder episodes, but the other ones are really funny. Um, yeah, that's on tonight. I'm probably gonna. It's on Hulu, so I'll watch it tomorrow. And then Middleditch and Schwartz. I forgot
I
that I
will.
watched it. I need to rewatch them all because they're so funny. We already talked about it, but like you said, I cannot recommend that enough.
All right. Do you want to just jump right into the interview with Kayla?
Yeah, let's do that. Like I said, very special guest, my girlfriend Kayla. She's on this episode, so we'll cut to that conversation that we had.
And welcome back. We are with Kayla. I think Anthony, did you already do an intro? How do we do this?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I prepped you guys. I
I know we
before these
talked about
calls,
this.
little peek behind the curtains, but I prep them. I'm like, so this, I'm like, this is what part of the episode we're in, and you immediately forgot.
I forget when we introduce them. So we already are acquainted with who Kayla is.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Hi.
Okay,
Welcome.
first things first, how are you doing?
I was actually doing really good during quarantine, and then I just looked at my schedule for my classes, and I'm done with school in 6 days. So I'm freaking out because everything's coming to an end, and I have so many things to do. So now I'm stressed. But other than that, I'm okay.
I know April felt like it happened in 2 days.
It
Have you seen
felt
those?
so short.
Have you seen those calendar memes where it's like, oh, I actually drew the real calendar for this year, and it's like January is all fine, February is okay, March is just like super long, and April is like one line. Super funny.
Yeah, April went by very fast.
It's very strange. It's I think not tomorrow. Whenever Friday is May, right?
Yeah, May 1st.
Ugh,
Well,
what a terrible month. I hate May.
I'm very excited for May because that's when Fantastic
Nothing
Mr.
good comes
Fox.
from the month of May.
Nothing good has ever came from the month of May.
No.
Wow.
I have no objections.
So talking about quarantine, what do you miss the most pre-quarantine life? If you can remember it.
My job. I miss my job. I work at an elementary school and I work with kids and I miss them a lot. There was actually this video that my supervisor made to send out to the kids. It was like us saying hi, and then she put like a little montage together. It was the saddest song she could have ever chosen. I showed it to Anthony, and everybody was crying. It
It was
was
the equivalent of "In the Arms of." Like that was,
basically,
yeah.
it
It
was
had
so
the tagline
sad.
was "Try not to die. See you next year."
Oh my, yeah, it was really sad. But yeah, I miss my job. I miss just like having a structure because I don't have a lot of willpower when it comes to work and I procrastinate a lot. But when I was in school, like this semester especially, like I stepped up my game and I had like a routine and it's gone now. And I stay in bed until 12 every day and do nothing.
I feel like that's a theme I've been hearing about 2020 is that everybody was like starting out saying this is my year, and I felt that too. I was like, this is going to be a great year.
South
Look at
by is gonna
that.
happen.
Oh my god. I truly I was like, man, I'm going to do South by. I'm going to go to Seattle. Like I was so excited, and then life was like, fuck you. No, you're not.
Yeah, the hopes were high. It did not it didn't work out for anybody.
No. I think just I'm curious what'll happen at the beginning of 2021. Like at the end of this year going into a new year, I feel like everybody's going to be like, I just don't want to die. That'll be a great year if I just don't die. Ugh, what a what a weird time. But try so do you during this time to get yourself, I guess, not motivated, but to pass the time, what are you watching recently?
Mm,
Because there's so many
I haven't
things.
I haven't been watching a lot of movies, but I think I've been spending hours, and I'm not even joking, like hours on TikTok. It's kind of bad. It's I don't even realize I'm scrolling for that long. And I don't know if you guys have ever used the app, but there's this like feature where if you're scrolling for too long, like a TikTok ad comes up and he's like, "Hey, you've been scrolling for a while. Maybe you should like go take a break or something."
No
Yeah,
way.
it's kind of yeah, it's like some old Viner person. And I'm like, okay, and I just keep scrolling past it and I just keep going. Um,
Weird. I wonder if they had to
yeah,
do that.
probably
I mean,
because
there's so many kids
I
using
know
it.
people spend a long time. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
But besides that, I've been watching a bunch of shows, um, like really bad shows, but good shows. Like Legacies, which is a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries. Um, I don't know. I've been watching like a bunch of old things, like Hannah Montana, all the Disney movies. Just remembering the good times.
Before.
Oh, I also had like a Twilight marathon with my mom.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. We watched every movie, and we started like at 10 o'clock at night, so we didn't finish until like 4 in the morning or something. It was
What a
intense.
way to spend your quarantine.
I don't know why we did it.
And you've been watching, or last night when we called, you were watching New Girl.
Oh yeah, I started watching New Girl again. I love New Girl. Very good. It's just so funny. So funny. All the one-liners.
I love that show.
I think I watched up to like season 3. I haven't seen the full thing. I there's some shows that I feel like I get like super into it and then I just stop watching it for some reason.
Honestly, I only
I
watched that
think
show
it
because
gets
of
really
Nick.
good
He's
when
so
he gets
funny.
really awkward and he scoots back.
Yeah, everything about he's such a funny character.
Nick, which one's that one?
He's like one of the main guys. He's the one's like rugged, doesn't
Jake
have his
Johnson.
act
Oh,
together.
okay.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, I think so. He was
He's
in Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Interesting. Well, of the same vein of like watching things that are old, what's your are those your comfort shows or do you have like a comfort movie that you go to
Uh,
every time you start to feel kind of down?
I do, and it's really bad. It's a really bad one, and I haven't watched it a lot yet because I'm saving it in case I get like super sad about quarantine. But I'm like, it's so embarrassing. My comfort movies, they're like super cheesy, like supernatural action movies. So kind of like Underworld, Blade, Van Helsing, or just like teenage, like supernatural, like Twilight or Beautiful Creatures. I don't know why. I just can watch them all day.
Oh, interesting. I would have not guessed that. I don't think I've heard that before.
Yeah, I know it's super
Especially
weird.
Start off with Van Helsing.
Oh, it was one of my favorite movies growing up. I'm not even joking. I watched it
Made
all
me
the time.
watch it, and it's not bad.
It, it's not good either. So
Some movies are so bad that they're just so good. You just always want to watch them. So I feel that.
classic.
I think, you know what though? I'm surprised, but I'm also not because I have noticed that, so like, without getting into like a lot of detail, this past week has just been like, it started off as like one of the shittiest weeks of this whole quarantine experience. And all I wanted to do was watch slasher films, like scary movies and movies where like a bunch of people are like killed in these really like grotesque ways. So
Hmm.
I don't know why, but like I just wanted to watch You're Next. I watched Hush like twice. I don't know what it is. It's very strange. It's
Yeah, I guess
interesting.
because like we're like kind of not doing anything, and our life is just like stagnant, and they're going through like adrenaline rush in these movies. I don't know. They're good. They're
Yeah,
cheesy.
and how I described it to somebody else is I was telling them like I feel like I just like have all these anxieties and I just want to put it into a box and that like creates that box. So maybe that's what it is.
That
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
Well, I know that you and Anthony are constantly going to the movies because I feel like when I text him or before this all started, he was like, "Oh, I'm about to go to the movies with Kayla." So, do you remember the last movie that you saw in theaters?
Okay, I was trying to think about it, and I remember it wasn't that good. Do you remember what it was,
Oh, how
Anthony?
dare you! I loved the movie we saw. It
What
was
was it?
it was The Hunt.
Oh, it was good then. It was pretty good.
Oh, that was recommended to me recently.
Have you, have you not seen it? It's really
No,
good.
not yet, because you have to pay for it.
Oh.
And
Oh
I'm
yeah, they
cheap. I mean,
released.
I should pay for it, but I'm cheap.
I
Yeah, it was.
really
I
like
mean, it
it.
wasn't amazing. It was good though.
I heard
I
it's
was
good, and I
super
heard that the
offended.
ending is pretty good.
I was super
Hmm.
offended. I think I talked about this movie before I saw it, where the trailer was. It was. Yeah, I remember talking about it on this podcast because the trailer said this is the best movie of 2020, and you haven't even seen it yet. And I was like, what? I remember
Little
talking
did they
about it.
know they were probably right because it's one of the 5 movies that's
Yeah,
gonna come out this year.
yeah, exactly.
I think. I think Livia, you'd actually really like it if you are watching like Your Next and things like that. It has that
Yeah.
vibe.
And my next movie that I want to watch, but I don't know where I can find it, is like the Purge movies. I think I'm gonna
Mm,
watch those next. But
yeah, that's
ooh, I,
good.
I need to watch it. I think I'll probably just buy it. Why not?
Yeah.
Just rent it.
It reminds me of Hide and Seek. I think that's the other movie
No,
with
Ready
that
or
Oh,
Not.
Ready
girl.
or Not. Ooh,
Yeah.
Ready or Not. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
I loved Ready or Not so much.
Oh, then you'll like it.
I'll watch it. I love a good like movie about a white family in a really nice house just getting like killed one by one. That's one thing too, is that I don't know about you, Kayla, if you watch a lot of scary movies, but there's one thing that I've been recently noticing is well, if here's a good tip to get you through them because you were shaking your head. I You need to just pay attention to the houses because the houses are so fucking nice that I was watching Hush with my coworkers and I think they think I'm insane because I was just like we were doing Netflix party and every other line that I had was just like, "Oh man, this house is so nice." And she would be running like with a stab wound on her leg into the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need a tub like that."
Hereditary, it's another
That's
example.
such a
Oh
great
yeah.
house. Or Hush, if you just watch Hush, I told my I told my coworkers this is just a virtual open house to me because I fucking love this house. So there's a tip, just pay attention to
Is
the
that the
house.
one where the main character is deaf?
Deaf
And
and mute.
mute.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that
That's
one was good.
not too
I
gory, but
know.
I think my coworkers didn't appreciate my movie pick. And I was like, well, if I pick it, what do you expect?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get scared so easily. Like so easily. It's not
I
even
concur.
funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll try. I try. I mean, I go to the movies and I watch them, but I freak out and then it
It's
stays in my
fun though,
head.
right?
Oh yeah, especially if you go with like a big group of people, just hearing everybody's reaction. I know you guys talked about this, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Hey, Anthony, do you have any other questions? I ran through my questions.
How you been? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I've been okay. I actually just got a few more of your presents in right now.
Oh.
His
Yeah.
birthday. I was like, what?
Oh, for his birthday, yeah. You want to tell her about the glasses? Well, what
Oh,
happened?
What happened?
Uh,
so this is
well,
another behind the
to
curtain.
just to like give you some background, Anthony and I are notoriously horrible at like keeping secrets from each other,
I
Especially with
and
too.
it's especially with gifts. It's like we get so close, like a few weeks away, and then it's just like, guess what I got you?
yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. And I was really trying super hard this year, like to not let it happen because I don't see you, so it's like not that hard because we just talk over the phone. But it just found a way to get out, so
So
you can go
so
ahead.
what happened? Because it's my birthday. For those of you who don't know, my birthday is at the end of May. So Kayla's trying to get a head start, being a good girlfriend, and she DM'd you, Livia, on Instagram. Unbeknownst to her, I
Oh, I
have
forgot.
I have your Instagram because you created our brother sister show email or Instagram
Oh
with
no.
your the same email as your personal, so I saw that notification, and I was like, I saw normally
Funny.
I see DMs, I just like immediately delete it. I'm like, I don't really care. But then I saw Kayla's name, I was like, and then I saw, hey, I wanted to, and then I was like, it's all over. It's all
Oh,
over.
I totally forgot about that.
And then you came up with like you texted me some dumb like, oh, I came up with I had
You
a
wouldn't
bet
have
with
known
Sebastian.
though. You wouldn't have known.
I would not have.
Yeah, man, that was a good lie too. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, because okay, let's get some background because everybody's like, "What's going on?" So, yeah, you DM'd me and asked if there was a way I could find out his glasses prescription, and I was like, "Okay." And I was trying. Sebastian was here, or I was talking to him or something, and I was like, "How the hell do I try to get his prescription?" And then I was like, "Well, I'll just ask, and then I'll figure it out after." Man, that was such a good lie too.
Yeah,
And
cause
you know what though? There was one year in our lives that we had the same exact one. So I
yeah.
wouldn't even have had to do that, but that's funny. So you saw the DM that Sebastian sent me today then?
I didn't see because I saw he sent you something, and then I saw a message from him after. But like I said, I just delete
Oh,
them.
I totally forgot about that.
We gotta figure something
Yeah.
out because I don't want to see your notifications. I don't know if I mute it on mine. We'll figure it out later.
I don't really DM that many people.
I know that, but it's just
That's so funny. I don't think there's a way because I have to it has to because I made a business profile, it has to connect to somebody's. So there's no
uh,
way.
okay.
Unless you just get rid of there's a way to probably do notifications. We'll figure it out. I think there's a way you can.
Okay.
You're just nosy and you like to see what I'm doing.
I don't. This I don't know. I feel super bad. I was gonna
It's so
not say
funny.
anything, but it
Like
was
she's
killing
joking.
me on the inside. I was like,
And
because I knew she was
then
excited.
I tried to be like real sneaky. Yeah, and we were on the phone. I was like, I got you your present, and he was like, okay, and he didn't really want to know what it was. So I knew something was up. He already knew. He already knew about it.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah.
Sebastian and
Yeah,
I are the
but I
same
mean, but that's
way.
not what you're getting now. So
I'm the same way with Sebastian. I usually, if I get a really good gift, I really want to tell him. And I'll be like, do you want me to tell you? And he's like, I don't care. You can tell me. And I'm like, no, I'll wait. And then the next day I'm like, okay, I'll tell you. Like when I got him his Switch, I was like, I got you something really good. And he said, okay. And I was like, do you want me to tell you? Poor guy. He like doesn't care. And I'm like, please, can I tell you? Yeah. Well, if you're curious, Sebastian
yeah,
DM'd
it's
me a
hard.
picture. Some place sent a picture of Barack Obama, and he had the same Stan Smiths on that I do.
Ooh.
So I said, "That's me." And Sebastian said, "True," and then that was it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, we'll throw it back to our main conversation about 8th grade right now. And we're back.
Heck yeah.
Let's just go straight into 8th grade, which is the movie of this week. Movie of the week. All right. Let me clear my throat. Okay, 8th grade came out in 2018. It was directed and written by Bo Burnham. Principal cast is Elsie Fisher, who plays Kayla, Josh Hamilton, who plays her dad. I think his name is Mark.
Yes, it's Mark.
Oh, okay. That's where we can mention this because the principal cast that's listed in IMDb is Elsie Fisher, who plays Kayla, Josh Hamilton, who plays Mark, and Emily Robinson, who plays Olivia.
Which I had no idea. Livia, your name's not Olivia, so it's like,
No,
okay. It's
it's
a
the
little bit off.
superior version of Olivia.
Sure. My name is Mark. I'm Mark Anthony. My middle name's Anthony, but I go by it. Long story. I just go by Anthony sometimes. And Kayla.
Kayla is Kayla. It's
Kayla is
spelled
Kayla.
differently.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
kind
So
of
just a
funny.
little fun fact of the pod.
Yeah.
All right. 8th grade is about an introverted teenage girl trying to survive the last week of her disastrous 8th grade year before starting high school. Estimated budget was about $2 million. Opening weekend, it made about $260,000. In the U.S. it grossed about 13 million, and worldwide it grossed about 14 million. So indie budget with an indie profit. I don't know. Okay. And as far as how it was received by critics, it got a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and an 89% on Metacritic.
It still has a 99?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I've been noticing a theme because this is probably a surprise to nobody, but I'm the one who does the like little budget and reception and stuff. I'm the one who like inputs that.
Yeah, because the
And
numbers are all rounded.
I started to script it because I'm
numbers
like,
are
I can't do
numbers
that.
are hard.
Numbers are fucking hard for me, especially the 260,000 number. There's no way I could have done that. Anyways, I feel like I've noticed a trend in how Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes, and IMDb all have their ratings. IMDb is always, I haven't changed the 7 on it in a long time. It's always 7.4, 7.2. I don't remember the last time it's been not a 7 point something. Rotten Tomatoes, I feel like it just goes up and down a lot, and then Metacritic usually stays within the same range too. I feel like personally, I don't know. Either my feelings on the movie either go with Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic. I feel like IMDb is just like it's not there. I don't know why I put it now. I'm
Yeah.
just curious, I think. I just like to see the 7. Like, ooh, is it gonna get a 7.1 this time? A 7.5? It's very strange. All right, so I have a ton of notes.
Yeah, I kind of have a lot too. I didn't realize how many I was taking.
Me
Some of
neither.
them are just words. They're not even coherent. It's just,
All of mine are full-on sentences, and it's about 2 pages long.
ooh. Well, I don't know how you want to do this. We need to figure out a way to do this. I feel like,
Um, you could send me your notes, and I could just make it like blend it. That's what I've started to do now with the fun facts, where I'll just like have the fun facts up, and then I'll start to just blend those within my notes.
okay, we should probably start doing that, but
I don't know. I kind of like when we're like, okay, how are we gonna do this?
yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah. Well, my first note, I'll just go straight into it, is imagining, because I've talked to this, oh my gosh. I've talked
Jesus.
about this topic with you, but
Yeah.
writing dialogue for me is super hard. And you asked me, well, do you say it out loud? Imagining Bo Burnham saying these lines out loud while he's writing it just super funny to me. Or he's like saying these things that an eighth grade girl would say. I don't know. It was just really funny.
Well, and funny, I mean, obviously my first note is about the intro. My first thing though was about how this intro is basically us. I
Yeah.
don't know if you like listen to it fully, but it's so chaotic, and it's also I quoted when she said, I haven't been getting a lot of views, and I feel like that's one joke that we constantly say, but like with a clenched fist. We don't have a lot of listeners. So this intro is very us. And actually when you speak about the whole her dialogue, the one thing I really loved about this is when I first watched it, I was like, oh, he just let her go, right? He was like, okay, so how I imagined it was that he put the camera in front of her and he said, okay, so just do intro of a YouTube video. But that's not how it happened at all. And I kind of started to structure my notes in 2 sections, and this section is talking about the calculated performance of Elsie Fisher. So what I learned from just doing so much research before we even did this podcast, is that she didn't add any of those ums or pauses or just weird, awkward moments. He scripted that. He scripted that very specifically. And so Bo Burnham he does such a good job of crediting his artists. And one thing that he constantly says, if you watch interviews, is that people think she's just going like what I thought, where she's just going in there being herself, and to a certain extent she is, but she's doing a completely scripted performance,
That's crazy.
which makes it so much more impressive.
Yeah.
And though I do have a quote where Elsie Fisher admitted that her role as Keila, as an awkward, shy person, was really ironic and kind of easy for her because she also feels like that person in her real life. So there is a lot of parallels, but I just want to point out that from what she's doing, it's kind of like if you gave somebody, I mean, I don't want to compare it to Shakespeare, but if you gave somebody like Shakespeare and how that dialect is, this is as if Bo Burnham researched how teens talk, and he researched how that specific age group talks, and he scripted that very calculated. And so it's so impressive to think of it that way, that he did a ton of research and he wasn't just like, okay, so I feel like she would say here. Like, he did it very purposely. And I feel like this movie does a good job of feeling so intentional. um and one fun fact that I really love, this is the last part of the whole Elsie thing, is that on Jimmy Kimmel, Bo Burnham revealed that Elsie Fisher finished the filming of this movie before she started high school. So I think right after 8th grade, she filmed this movie. And when she got into high school, she didn't get she didn't get a part in her school play.
Yeah, that's so funny because she has like something on her resume, like
Well, she
a
has a
big film.
movie, but it also has an award-winning movie, and she was nominated for this movie for a Golden Globe, and she couldn't get a high school play.
That's so funny.
But yeah.
I watching. Okay, so I used to make videos, YouTube videos. I want to get back into it. I really like making them, and I have an idea that may or may not require me shaving my head to do it. I really want to do it. I just don't want to buy clippers. Uh, but I this is the exact same reason why, because the videos I used to make, I never talked in them. It was never a vlog. I never was like, hey, what's up, guys? Like that. Because of this exact same reason. Because I feel like I'd be like Keila in this instance where it's just super awkward, and I don't know. I'd hate to edit that too. I mean, I know I have an audio podcast. I'm a host of an audio podcast, but I wouldn't like that.
Well, it is different though, talking on a podcast versus doing a video. I feel like I would also not care to do a video, but I think I'm one of those people that would tell you too, like, maybe you should, why don't you talk during your videos? And you would say that, you're like, well, I don't know, I don't know what I would say.
Yeah, I've tried it. I really have, but I just can't.
You just got to go for it. Like what Kayla says in one of her videos, you got to fake confidence until you have it.
Oh my gosh, that's a perfect segue to my next note. Is the music in this movie? So the name of the song that plays, I believe, no, it's not. It's not. But it's so perfect because she's filming her video, then she finishes, and then she's getting ready for her day, and it's like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so good. I don't know.
And it
It's
feels so,
angsty. I don't know why it
yeah,
feels
of
like.
the moment. Like what if I was gonna make a movie about a teen, that's what it's not. It's so digital, a lot of her life is digital.
Yeah. Anna Meredith, that's who uh, made the score for this movie, and it's fantastic. I have this entire soundtrack or score in my. I listen to it while I do homework because it's perfect for it.
Truly is. So so that after we move to her like getting ready, and I really love the moment, or the detail of her watching YouTube videos
Yeah.
of like trying to get ready. And I used to do that. I don't do that as much anymore, but I have, if people, I don't, we haven't put pictures of ourselves, I don't think, but if people know me, they know that I have really big curly hair. And I used to always rely on videos to try to figure out what the fuck to do with my hair. Now I kind of just let it do what it wants to do. But that's a very young kid thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and my next note is after that, and I think it starts at her school where they have an assembly.
Hmm.
That's my next one. And She gets the superlative most quiet, which is such a shitty superlative.
Yeah.
Also, a fun note about superlatives and the shitty ones is I don't know if you won any superlatives, Anthony. We didn't do any in middle school. Or
No.
if we did, I didn't know about it, but we did some in high school and I won a superlative in high school. I don't know if you won one.
I won two.
Oh.
I
Well, what were
won
the
two.
two that you won?
I won best bromance with me. It was me and David. Last episode we talked about Spider-Man with him. If you want to listen to that, quick little plug. Me and David won best bromance, and then I won for some reason. Kayla, my girlfriend, loves making fun of me for this, but I won best. Not best. I guess it is best. Best heartbreaker. Or no,
What?
no, 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 biggest heartthrob or something like that.
Did you really?
I'm not even messing with you.
Oh my
Yes.
God. What a douche.
I didn't even vote for it.
I hate that. How did I know this?
Maybe I don't know.
I fucking hate that so much.
I'm,
Just the
I didn't.
ego that gives you probably. Anyways, well I
Hey,
didn't win that.
I let the
I
people
won.
speak for me.
You were like, this feels right and this is just. Where are you going?
I was getting my laptop charger. It's gonna.
Oh.
It is just.
So I won. Well, it's not a shitty superlative, but I have an explanation for that. So I won cutest couple, and I won it with my current boyfriend now, Sebastian. But I think it was Dad who said, or some mom or Dad, where when I told them that I won it, or I mentioned it one time, and my mom was like, "Oh, so you didn't win one by yourself? You had to like be a couple." And I was like, I like never thought of it that way. And I was like, well, now I don't feel great. And we
Dang.
also won, I guess they had some during prom too, which like why? And we won cutest couple and they made us go on stage and everybody was shouting for us to kiss. And
That's
Sebastian, and I remember this so clearly. Poor Sebastian. Where he looked at me and he was like, "Do you want to?" And I said no, and we walked off stage.
cutest couple.
That's literally what it was. And people were like, kiss, kiss, kiss. And we just walked off stage.
That's so. That's. We're gonna. That has to be in a movie if we make it. That has to be.
Add that to the bank. But yeah, so superlatives. I cannot believe you won that. Biggest heartbreaker. I have to use that in something.
We could do a lot with the post for this. I was gonna say we could post 8th grade pictures of ourselves.
I don't know if
I definitely have a picture, 8th grade picture of myself.
I could find one.
If you want to do that, we could also do our superlative pictures.
Oh, but you would have to.
I
We
don't
could
know
do
if there's enough room
superlatives.
for one post. I don't know. I just have
Oh
too many.
my God. Well, you have the yearbook, so you would have to take it for me. Oh wait, no, no, I have my yearbook. I'll figure it out. We can do superlatives because I don't know what I looked like in 8th grade, so I couldn't pick a picture.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe I think I have one on Facebook probably, but we'll see. Stay tuned as to what we pick. Maybe we'll do both.
Yeah, go to our Instagram and find out at Brothers of the Show.
All right. And during this whole thing, a really sad realization that I made as soon as um oh, actually we missed was the scene of them in the classroom where that kid's jacking off. Did we miss that?
Yeah, that was you kind of skipped it. That was
Okay.
before. That was like a little montage of her going through her day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they have a video, and I was like, kids nowadays, like they made new videos. They made new
For them.
puberty videos. I was like, no, those videos were always super old for.
Oh, because she said it's going to be lit. Something
Yeah,
like that, right? Oh, okay. I did have a note about this
the
because
hair down there. It's
because
gonna be lit.
that was the realization, the really sad realization that I made. or that I came to when I was watching this, is that I'm the adults in this movie. All the cringy adults that dab, that say lit, that are trying so hard to like be in the know, and then they're like 10 years late. That's me.
Yeah.
Especially when I started to be like when I started to sympathize with the dad more than the daughter. That's when I knew. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's over for me.
Officially old.
All right. My next note is it's actually about music too. And if you want to go back, we can. But I had specific music moments within this, like after they get their time capsules and she's looking at it and they call out the superlatives. I think one of them is best eyes or something. And it's that guy. I really love the music in this moment because rather than it being like a love song, it's a really intense EDM music.
Yeah.
I loved that because it perfectly captures how I remember feeling when I saw like a guy that I had a crush on in middle school or even like early high school. It feels that intense when you see them.
It is
And
so
so
funny
I
because
love that.
he's just wearing a Golden State Warriors
Yeah.
jersey. Like that's so his personality.
That kid is fucking hilarious. And then I my last note about music is that after the whole time capsule part and they shift or they have another like montage or not a montage, but they have a scene of her band. And even the shitty band music was perfect.
It
And as
was.
somebody who went to so many middle school band concerts because you and Homer decided to be in band, it was perfect. That was exactly how it was. And Homer
Li-
was the person in the back doing the triangle.
Listen, I was in band, and my middle school band was not that bad.
Okay, but it's not amazing.
No, I have a recording of my eighth grade music, and you know what? That's how we're gonna end the episode. Instead of our film reel stuff, I'm gonna put that because I have one of our things. I have a because I was in percussion. I had a drum solo. From the drum solo to the end of the song, I'm gonna put that in. That's gonna be the
Oh
end.
my god.
It's
Okay.
gonna be perfect. You're gonna hear. It was actually pretty good. We won. We won awards. Okay.
Actually, yours was actually pretty good. Homer's was not that great.
No, no.
And he was like Kayla, where she was just standing in the back waiting for her one. That
The
was
crash
Homer.
cymbals. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Then school's over, and then uh, a weird lady calls her from
Oh, over
her
to her car.
yeah over to her car, and then they have a conversation. Where the mom is essentially, I think the kid's name is Kennedy. So Kennedy's mom is inviting Elsie to her kid's party,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Well, you gonna do it over Facebook?" And that was where I was like, "Whoa, I feel a little older," because obviously now Facebook is old, but in eighth grade, Facebook was everything. Facebook was the thing. It's weird to see them. She's like, "No one uses Facebook anymore."
Well,
It
and
was
actually, I have a good fun fact for that because this points to one of the reasons why Bo Burnham is such a great director is how he listened to his actors because at a screening he said that he intended for the characters to all communicate with each other through Facebook because I think he felt the same way you did where he's like, oh, it's Facebook. But when Elsie Fisher saw the script, she told him no one uses Facebook anymore. And
weird.
so he made that a line in the movie. And then he had them use Instagram and Snapchat instead.
Perfect. Good researcher.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then the dinner scene. Oh
Oh,
my
but
god.
before we get to that, I do want to talk about the time capsule a little bit because I
Oh,
wanted to know what would be in yours.
yeah, a little bit before that, I forgot. I just deleted
Oh
it,
yeah,
but I had a note. That's one of the things A24 is selling on their
yeah,
auction thing,
yeah. I don't know if
which
you follow me, you already know that there's many things that I want from that.
I really
auction.
want that Furby from Uncut Gems. That'd be so cool, but I guarantee it's gonna be like
Hey,
thousands of dollars.
if somebody wants to donate, I really want the hereditary, and I told you too during the episode, I want one of those hereditary mats. And right now it's only 7,000 is the highest bid. So if somebody wants to help me,
7,000. If they could help, if they
do
could
it.
donate, they just might as well get it themselves.
Um, I'll go half of a half.
I know you're not good with numbers, but that's a fourth. That's not that good. uh, in my time capsule. So this is like sixth grade time capsule for me.
Yeah.
Sixth grade time
Well, do
capsule.
you want to do
It'd probably.
what do you want to do what you would put in, or do you want to do a time capsule now?
Oh,
Like now for yourself, and like what's important to you now that you want to keep for yourself for what did they do 2 years? So in 2 years from now.
yeah. Let's do now because I feel like
I have no idea what I would do for
yeah.
middle school.
I feel like I'd put a flash drive like because I put some footage on there. Just like this is everything that I'm experiencing. Because a time capsule, you can't obviously put everything. It's very
Yeah.
select stuff, but with a thumb drive, you'd be able to put a lot more. So I feel like that's a good choice. I feel like it put some.
You also have like a million flash drives. You have so many.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be hard to pick. I'd probably put a book that I want to reread. She had like some autograph stuff.
She had a playbill.
Yeah, playbill thing. I don't know if I'd put anything like that. I'd honestly probably put money. I'd probably put all the money that I have saved.
You're gonna need this.
Yeah. And then maybe like a first aid kit. You never know. You?
Um, I would put a mask. Mom sent me a mask that she made, so I'd put one of those. Just so I can remember this time. I would put something of Ari's. Maybe. Oh, I have. He goes through a lot of. I was gonna say a lanyard collar. He goes through a lot of collars because he scratches them. Because he'll like
Oh,
scratch himself, but then he'll scratch them. So I'd probably put one of his collars. And then looking around, maybe I would put. Ooh, maybe I would put like a tattoo idea because I get a lot of tattoos, and my what I've been wanting to do for this year, but the whole coronavirus kind of fucked it up, is I wanted to get one each month. And
mm.
I had been doing that until March. But I think I would like write down a tattoo idea or maybe have somebody draw it, and then I would put it in the time capsule, and then after the 2 years I would get that tattoo.
That's a cool idea. Way better than money, but
Money's not bad. I took a lot of cash out because I was gonna get a tattoo like the week everything happened. So I took cash out, but instead I put it in this little piggy bank. So I could put that to pay for the tattoo. There you go.
there you go. Let us know what you would put in
Ooh,
your time capsule. Maybe we should
I'll do that tomorrow.
it'd be cool if we made a time capsule. Like we took everyone's, I don't know, like if someone wrote something that they want, we'll like give it back to them.
I don't want to be responsible
Responsible.
for that.
I don't know, that'd
The
be cool.
distribution of that.
That's also kind of weird. Like we're handling your time capsule.
Yeah, no.
Well, maybe here we'll do this. We'll have an audio time capsule for us right now. So if you're listening to this, because no one's, someone we might be big in 2 years. We also might not be
This.
with exist with this. So, what do you want to say 2 years from now,
Ooh.
self?
I want to say that right. Ooh, this is gonna get serious. Well, not serious, but right now, I feel like I've been really good, especially because of the situation. I've been really good at kind of putting my life into its bare bones and saying what is making you happy, because you can't go to work, because you can't go and be with friends, because you can't, do all these things. What is it that is making you happy? And it is being able to like have the friends I do, have the family that I have, be able to support myself. And even though I always call it a shitty little apartment, it's still my shitty little apartment. Like, be happy with that and not have your happiness contingent on what other people's idea of success is, because that can fade. So I think that's what it is. Just like, be happy with how your life is and look at the things that still make you happy. Like, hang on to that whole idea of being able to support yourself. And even though you're not, a director or what, like, even if this podcast isn't, pulling in 1,000 people every episode, still be happy that you're creating things. You know what I mean? Like, take everything at its bare, like, put it to its bare bones and be happy with what it's giving you rather than.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good 2022. I will, because I'm a rising junior in college.
Whoa.
I'll be graduated. 2 years from now, I will be done. Hopefully, that's the plan. So I guess that 2 years in the future, Anthony. Good job for doing college. That's not an easy task. Not everyone does it.
Sure.
Go make some money. That's all I gotta say. Go make some money.
Wow, mine was heartfelt and yours was get the money.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
do what you want to do. I mean, I talked about, this is a good little plug for our friend Emmanuel. He started his own podcast, Evergreen Radio. I was the first guest, and we kind of talked about my degree and how film is kind of my end goal, but computer science is my way to get there.
Your side bitch.
Yeah, so don't forget to make videos. Don't forget to be creative.
Don't forget why you're on the path you're on.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get lost in the
Sauce.
in the sauce. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I was a little. I didn't know I was gonna do that, but that's a little.
That was nice,
fun.
though.
Yeah, it's fun. Little time capsule.
We'll never listen to it again. No kidding.
I save every episode, even if we get rid of the RSS feed. I have every episode on a hard drive.
Good.
So no matter what, we'll have it. I think we'll still do it though. You never know. All
right. Well, my next note is it's not really sequential. It's just like throughout the whole movie, and I think you'll appreciate this too. And you probably wrote this down, but I know our collective pet peeve in movies is when the screens are unrealistic. And so I loved how, and I think Bob Burnham talks about it. So if you like just find any interview, he'll talk about it. But he made a decision to have every screen actually, there instead of putting it in post, which I think helped the movie out a lot. Especially the scenes where she's scrolling through Instagram and the profiles look realistic. It's not like, it isn't obvious that they took the picture on the day,
Yeah, the videos that she's looking through when she's at dinner with her dad, which I hate when kids are so mean to their parents. Like,
I cannot imagine talking to dad like that ever.
I don't think we'd be here if we did. But yeah, really, that's something I didn't even notice, and that's good that all the screens are how they should be in every movie.
Yes. And the light on their face. Oh, I love it. Love it so much. But yeah, and then my next note is about the pool party. I don't know if you want to talk about anything before that.
Yeah, that's my next note too. Okay. I really love how her video that she's making is narrating. Yeah, yes. Of her going to that party. I feel so sad, but when she was talking about herself. Or
Oh
you
my.
could probably explain it a lot better than me.
Okay. Because I'm like, I fucking love this scene. This is, I like other scenes too, but this is one of my favorite scenes. Because how Anthony was saying, it's a voiceover of her video that she's recording right before she goes to the party, and she's basically projecting what she wants to happen, where she tells a story about how her dad made her invite somebody that she didn't want to invite, but then she ended up being really cool and everybody liked her, but we all know that she's the person that nobody like that didn't want that the girl didn't want to invite. And so it's so fucking heartbreaking and sad that she is projecting because they're showing that she made this before she goes to the party, so she's basically trying to put out what she really wants to happen. Oh, and this movie is so geniusly made.
Yeah, and so that's earlier I said that's the name of the song. This is what I was talking about. The name of the song is How to Be Confident.
Oh,
And that's the name of her video. It's Hi guys, I'm gonna tell you how to be confident, and that's the name of it, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite song
good.
off of this movie. It's just it's the triplet like da 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 da.
Yeah.
It feels like you'd get real tired of it because it's just super repetitive, and that's the kind of style minimalistic music. I mean, I talked about this
Yeah.
before, where it's just very repetitive, but it slowly adds on more layers to it. I don't know why I
So
love
good.
that kind of music.
Also, a pool party. I mean, I don't, as somebody that's a heartthrob, I don't know if you felt this before, Anthony, but I can't imagine going to a fucking pool party in middle school.
I
You would
never
not
did.
catch me at a fucking pool party.
I was
Even
only a
to this
heartthrob in
day.
high school, not in middle school. Okay, no, I would never
Your
do that.
pasty skinny ass.
Yeah,
Just kidding. Um, yeah, I could not imagine. I just that like that whole scene. I my note is that Kayla is braver than any fucking Avenger because walking out in a bathing suit in a one-piece bathing suit as a middle schooler, you
forget about
cannot
it.
tell me that Captain America was braver than that.
She's bold.
Bold and like I don't and that's the thing that I love about this movie is that we all like we're kind of in this perspective of the dad where this is jumping ahead and I won't go too in depth because I want to like do it sequentially but like he's telling her how amazing she is and I feel that like when I'm watching this movie I'm like I can't believe she would do that. She is amazing. And so it's he does such a brilliant job of like showing us that but not being too overt about it. And to that point, whenever she gets to that, when she has a conversation with her dad, we also want to like scream at the TV where we're like, you went to a pool party.
Yeah,
And she didn't buy she could have bought that girl some makeup or something she knew she would like, but she bought her something that she loved and she wanted to share it with her, which is such a pure thing. And like the dad says, she's so kind just because she wants to be kind. Ugh, sorry. I could talk about this scene for so long. She is amazing in this movie. And just the whole like the way he structured this scene is perfect.
yeah. Even the the chip bag in the pool, the wet Doritos. Oh my gosh, nothing makes me more disgusted than soggy Cheeto or Dorito
Oh,
fingers.
I know. And then especially when we would go on base and go to the pool and we
And we
would
have
bring snacks,
snacks.
I was like, "Ugh." And I would see Homer eating Cheetos and he's his with his wet hand.
You dive straight into the pool or whatever.
It was
Oh,
gross.
that brought back flashbacks.
Yeah, so we're at the pool party and then they kind of my next note is after they move into the house and they're doing karaoke and she sees that kid again. The interaction is very funny.
Yeah, and
And
then
he's getting
she
his phone. Oh yeah, I charge my
she's
phone too.
awkward. Yeah, sometimes the battery dies.
Oh, also when she's telling her dad to pick her up and she's lying to him.
No, I'm not
God.
whispering.
Oh my God. Oh, and then the line delivery of the kid telling her like, "Oh, everybody's in the other room," and she's like, "Oh, that's where everybody is."
Was
So perfect.
and then
And
she sings karaoke.
which another like, are you fucking kidding me? Who can sing in front of people? Oh my God. And then there's another voiceover after that too, where she makes another video after the whole party, and I think she feels a lot better because she sang and she did um this whole big number, and we don't hear the singing, but you can like imagine how fucking scary that is.
That's
And one of the
when How to Be Confident parentheses again plays, and that's
again,
another
ugh.
that's another
And
perfect one.
I have a note, like one thing that she said, where she said confidence is a choice.
Yeah.
And I think that plays right when she's like walking and has the choice to take the mic. And I just
Yeah.
how kids are so fucking smart. Where she's making all these connections and she's doing all these things that are so fucking smart. Oh God, I love her.
The only thing that isn't smart is Gucci. Gucci.
That's another thing though that was added by Elsie.
Really?
Yeah, she started to say it all the time, and so I think Bo Burnham told her like, "Okay, keep doing it." And he said that she would do it like she would do it so much and it just became the vernacular on set that even like the crew would start to say it. They would be
Say
like, "Is this
Gucci.
setup Gucci?"
Is Gucci for you?
And I want to take a little aside. This is before I don't know when I wrote this, but I want to talk about how the decision to make this movie about a young girl, because as we keep talking about Bo Burnham, I don't know if you can tell from the name, but he is not a young girl. He's a grown man.
He
But
is.
that's one thing that a lot of people kind of, to a fault, they kind of hung on this like fact that it's a man writing about a young girl. Um, but I think he handled it so perfectly because one of the things I would hear all the time when people ask this of him was that he deliberately made that choice. And because he didn't want people to compare it to him because he started to make YouTube videos super young too. And so he didn't want people to think he was just making the movie directly about himself. But also because, like I said before, he did research on, teens now. And he said that when he would watch vlogs of boys, that they would talk about video games. And when he watched vlogs of girls, they would talk about their souls. So it was a very different, like it felt like very natural for him to write about a young girl just because of how they tend to act.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, Anthony, I think you've been like on a journey of writing more, but I wanted to ask this of you because I have started to realize once I watch this movie is that I kind of sympathize with that because for some reason I typically write from the perspective of men. And I don't know why. And it's not like
I
90%, it's usually like 50-60. But I don't know why, but like I'll usually write from not like when somebody's like, oh, I like inside the person's head, I'll write like from an outside perspective, but it's usually skewed more towards a male voice for some reason.
I mean I haven't done a whole lot of writing. Maybe wrote.
Wow.
I need to take a pause after that. I don't even know what I was even trying to say. I
Wait,
haven't written a lot of scripts or a lot of scenes because I write scenes, just ideas, and for the most part, from what I remember, I think they're majority male characters.
so there's something I need to unpack, I think.
Well, I don't think I make a conscious decision. I'm just
Well, me neither, yeah.
this person. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't either. And I mean, I've told you how, like, ugh, I hate the word process, but how my process is. And it isn't really conscious, but I don't know. I feel like there's something I do need to unpack about why I do that. I do, I have noticed that, like, stereotypically, because gender, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get into this, but gender is fluid. So, like, But stereotypically, I fall more into how how men act, so maybe that's why. Like I'm not really as emotional, and so I think it's easier for my brain to be like, okay, if this character's not as emotional, then it should be a man. So that's something that I need to like reconcile within my brain. But I think that's really interesting that he deliberately chose that. And so
Yeah.
maybe I just need to be like, this character is a girl and she doesn't act like a stereotypical girl, but like women are complex and they can be whoever they want.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
But yeah. All right. And then my next scene is about after, I don't know when this is, but she's like practicing talking to people and just saying, "Hey, my name's Keila." And she just like does it all the time. And I put that the adult equivalent of that is talking or of practicing talking to people is reading your emails out loud multiple times before you send them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do that constantly. And my next note is about the active shooter drill.
Yeah, yeah, that was my next note too. Why did they have to dress up like that for the drill if it's just a drill?
Also, when she's talking to that kid and it pans over to her and she has a bullet hole in her head.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I also love, I don't know if this is a statement, I'm assuming it is, but that they're setting up this whole drill and it's just like all it is doing is setting up her having a conversation with that guy. They don't linger on it, and I like how he did that because it is very much a thing that kids just have to deal with, and it's not really, I remember having those and they're like not, I mean they make it serious, I guess, but like it's just kind of like if there's a shooter then like don't die.
Yeah.
Pretend that you're dead is what some people tell you. And so I like that he brought that and made it really mundane.
Bang, bang. Props to the theater club or whatever.
They would do that, the theater club. Yeah. I skip a lot after this. I don't know if you have any notes, but my next one's about the banana scene.
Yeah, that's my next note too.
I just said that it's amazing and that her at the end throwing it at him is the highest form of comedy. I don't remember laughing that like that hard at anything else.
I really liked that he had uh written down that she didn't like bananas. Just a good dad right there.
Oh, he's so nice. I love
Notes
him.
about
He's
his
like, and
kids.
he remembered exactly what she said.
Yeah, yeah. I remember you getting angry at me. Yeah, that I really like that detail.
So good.
Yeah,
Go on.
my next note was a little. I don't know how to feel about it. So, so when after that banana scene, he comes and checks on her, and the way the format is, he just pokes his head in, and the door, the shot is you can see the door, but you can also see a little bit of the wall next to the door, and there's a calendar there, and it says June 2017, making her a junior in 2020. So she's the same age as Homer, our brother.
Oh.
And it made me think possible sequel in 2021 named 12th grade. I would love to see that.
I I would too. I don't know. I you know how I feel about sequels.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's why
it deserves one.
maybe that, but
I
I
mean, it
like
would
the
be interesting. I would want him to do it from somebody else's perspective, though.
okay, yeah,
I mean, it would make sense though if you're gonna do that time jump to keep it with her.
because
But what would that
she
story be though?
I don't know. It sets it up because we don't see her making that video of that she put in her time capsule when she was in 6th grade. We only saw her in 8th grade, but we saw her make the video for herself when she's in 12th grade. I don't know. I think it'd be really interesting. I don't think it'll happen, but I just a little thing that I noticed. I was like, wait, 2017, and then it all added up.
I think he would do it well, but I think because there's a lot of parallels between this movie and his and Bo Burnham's like career and what happened in his career that I feel like maybe it would be a good if he finds the story to be like, okay, now I feel more, now that I made this film, I feel a little bit more established, but I still don't know what I'm doing. So maybe that still would be an interesting perspective, but I would just hate for him to force it, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
also just a one and done person, but I wouldn't hate it. I mean, I still will watch it, so. Well, after that, I had a note about the shadow thing that they do, because I did a shadow like this before.
Really?
I don't remember my shadowy, but yeah, I've done it a couple of times. Like Olivia.
Oh, you were the person.
I think I did it both. So I was a person that was shadowing somebody in high school, and then um once I was like a junior or something, then I had somebody shadow me. So I did both.
Oh, I never done that.
Oh, it was interesting. It was like kind of the same where I didn't invite them to the mall, but they went to one class and they had lunch with me, I think. I don't remember, but it was interesting. I don't remember anything from it, but it brought back that memory of doing that. But yeah. Um, okay, my next note is after that. So after she has a great day with Olivia, and she just is so happy, and then she gets home and she is contemplating calling her, and she's so nervous, and I think she's like practicing again saying hi. And I don't know if it's just because I've watched this so many times that I care about this character so much, but I was so happy when she got invited to the mall and she like threw down her phone because she was so excited.
Yeah.
That is such, for a teen girl, that's such a huge win. But yeah.
Especially by someone who she sees as potentially being her best friend.
Oh yeah, and like somebody that is like she thinks is cooler than her,
Yeah.
to like throw her a bone like that, you know, and to be like, yeah, you should come up, but not. And I was kind of expecting her. I don't know why. I think it's just like the trope of like girls not being nice to each other that I'm so used to seeing, but I was expecting her to like not show up or make fun, you know, like I was expecting her not to be as cool as she actually was, but she was non-problematic queen the entire way through, and I loved it. And I also loved the drive there, how she was still really shitty to her dad.
Oh man, it was even worse.
But it was also really funny because and he is so patient. I fucking love him. And she told him, don't look weird, or she said, don't look weird and sad, please.
Yeah.
He was just driving. Oh my God. I
Can you
love
hear
that
that
scene.
downstairs?
No.
Oh, just a little. Uh, I can hear How to Be Confident again downstairs. I think mom and dad are watching it.
Aw,
So good.
meta. Supportive parents. See, that's why you don't yell at your parents.
Yeah, they'll listen to your podcast.
I love that they watch every movie. You know
Yeah.
what? You know what to do? Next episode, you should pick Joshy. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I don't even know if we've talked about that yet.
Sorry, I was yawning. That's we talked about it
The first one?
with Kayla, my girlfriend Kayla.
Well, either way, Josh is great. Okay, and then my next note is about the other car scene. So I don't know if you have any notes about the mall.
My last note is about the car scene. I hate this part of the movie.
Okay, same. But what do you want to say about it?
I don't get why he was doing this. I mean, I get why, but it just made me feel so gross watching him be like, oh, is it okay? Is it weird if I take my shirt off? I hated that. I hate him.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of, so I hate this scene, but I also like love it. I love the way that it was made
Yeah.
because I feel like it perfectly creates that uneasy feeling that I'm sure like ton of women have had before.
Yeah.
And then part of you wants to think, well, why you can leave. It's not like he locked the car. You know, like there's all these moments he's not in the driver's seat anymore, so you could just like leave and not be harmed. But that's when you're in that situation, all you think of doing or all you can do is exactly what she did. Just like look at the floor, try to keep it, try to keep yourself collected. And it's really hard to like watch that manifested in a way.
Yeah, it's like, dude, she's in 8th
Ugh.
grade.
And just the way she keeps apologizing and
Yeah.
the way that he makes her feel like it's her who made it weird when he's like, well, you think I'm uncomfortable? And like, dude, you dared yourself to take your shirt off. Ugh. Yeah, and I really, so this is gonna sound weird, but I like that not like that this is a scene where quote unquote nothing happened. Like he doesn't really touch her. I mean, he like kind of touches her, I think, but he like is trying to get her to, take off her shirt. But I like that he included a scene like this because it shows you that harassment or like harassment how we see it in a lot of media or how we hear about it is not how it actually happens most of the time. Like she was harassed. She was sexually harassed. And it's and the way that it makes you feel uncomfortable really shows you how damaging that, even though it's not like I said, even though he didn't touch her, he didn't like say anything super vulgar, it still is so damaging to a person.
Yeah.
Especially after especially the scenes after where she's really checked out, where she first like runs up to her room and she's like having kind of a meltdown, I think a panic attack maybe, and then she's kind of checked out at school. She has that moment where she says she doesn't want to do videos anymore, and so she puts out a video saying that, and how all of that stemmed from something that if she were to tell somebody this, like, can you imagine a young girl telling like an adult saying like this happened, and their first question, well, did he touch you? Did you take off your shirt?
Yeah.
Why were you in a car alone? Like you can see those sequences of events happening, and it's so fucking like sad to look back at that scene and be like, yeah, but like sure, all those things that you think could be the most damaging part didn't happen, but like it fucked her up.
Yeah, it really did.
But yeah, I love that he made it that way because it really shows the power of something that seems small and how big of an impact and like of a domino effect it takes on people.
Especially at that age, too.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, and like, man, she's gonna. And he was like trying to tell her to. Well, I was trying to help you because all these people, all these guys are going to do stuff, and you're not gonna fucking know. And like, he never in the equation, he never put like, he never told her, oh, but like you can say no. He made it seem like it was inevitable and it was going to happen to her, and that's what men like that think. Is
yeah.
that this is going to happen to you, so like might as well let it be by me. And it was just so fucking disgusting.
Like he was doing her a favor or something.
Yeah. And
Ugh.
like, and that's why I'm so glad that a lot of people will see this movie and that he put it in the movie, because they'll be able to see if they ever hear that something like that happened again, or like if a young girl saw this with her parents and told her parents something like this happened to me, then you can like, that's the powerful, that's something powerful about movies that they can do, is they can put you in that situation and give you perspective on what other people have experienced.
For sure.
But yeah.
Good
And
scene.
going back, huh?
Good scene.
Oh yeah, perfectly like
But terrible
executed.
scene.
Oh, I
Good.
hated that kid so much.
Good
His
but
fucking
terrible.
snapback. I hated him. And I also loved her video after the fact. It was really sad. And also her description of anxiety is so perfect. Where she
Yeah.
says that sometimes she's nervous and she won't even be doing anything and she still feels nervous. And it's like how before you're going on a roller coaster. Like, oh, it's so good. I love how smart he lets his characters be, even though they're young.
Yeah.
Because kids are fucking smart. Homer, I was gonna say Homer, but like he's not middle school age, but he he's the youngest of us all, so that's why I'm bringing him up. But he is like so fucking smart. You know, like people don't give kids like that credit.
Yeah, he's definitely, if not the smartest of us, he's definitely yeah.
I always say that he's like my IT person. Every
Yeah.
time I go home, I'm like, okay, I need you to connect this to the TV. Can you please do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my next note is about the fire scene. You don't have
Fire.
any notes anymore?
No, I do
Okay.
not.
All right. Well, every time I watch this movie, I always think, like, I don't really get emotional during movies as much, but this scene always makes me cry. Every single time I watch it, it makes me cry. Um, I just feel it so deeply, and I feel like a lot of people do too. But especially, I think I just wrote a bunch of quotes down. But when she asks the dad, "Are you sad because you have a daughter, like, or because I'm your daughter?" And he's like, "What?"
Jeez.
And she says, "I feel like if I had a daughter, and I feel like if she was like me, then being her mom would make me sad all the time." Oh my God.
That hits, bro.
And then, but the thing that gets me though is not even just that, but when the dad is trying to make her feel better. And
Yeah.
I wrote a couple of quotes where he says, "It's so easy to love you. It's so easy to be proud of you." Oh my God. I was like, it is. And then the last quote I put of his is, "All the things I thought I was going to have to teach you, you just start doing that on your own."
Yeah.
And that's also when they revealed that the mom left, they didn't really say exactly why or what happened, but it puts a lot of perspective because I love that they put this at the end because like we've been making fun of kind of is she's so shitty to her dad. But that shows like why he first of all why she's shitty and also why he doesn't really say anything because I think he because with a teenage girl you have to be really fragile because not because they're fragile but just teenagers in general because it is such a weird fucking time and they're discovering so much about themselves and they also like at least I think I'm just projecting so I'll just talk about me but like I was so fragile at that age because I was so like I just didn't know who I was and so every statement made towards me was like a defining thing about me, you know? So it was like I don't know, that was such a weird time in my life and I feel like I felt a lot of the things that she did. And you
Yeah.
don't and she like and another good example is she's talking about anxiety, but she never really says it and puts a name to it like that. I think she says she feels anxious, but she never says I have anxiety. And
Yeah.
so her feeling like she's sad, she just doesn't know what she doesn't have a name for it, you know? So when you're first experiencing those things and nobody's talking about it, you think you're the only one. But yeah.
I love that scene.
Do you have anything else to say? Oh, and I like too when she's like burning the time capsule and he's like, "Well, what's that?" And she's like or he said, "What's in there?" And she said, "Oh, just my hopes and
My
dreams."
hopes and dreams.
He said, "Oh,
Yeah. I like how the
okay."
dad this was the this was his time to shine. Like
Yeah.
he didn't have a whole lot going for him as far as being there for her because she didn't let him. And this was really where he was able to say hey and like give her everything that he because I think he could obviously tell because she was feeling down saying that her hopes and dreams were burned. But it was perfect for him to say what he perfectly said at that moment.
Well, and also she let him. She was like in a
Yeah.
space where she could because he tried to say at the beginning, he tried to tell her, "You're so cool" at the beginning, and she just was not having it. And so I think that's another thing with teens is you have to wait for them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know.
And after that moment, I wrote a note about why I love this movie so much. And I feel like now the theme with movies that I really love is that I know a movie is special when after I watch it, I feel grateful that somebody made it. So,
Yeah.
like, for this movie, I feel so much gratitude for Bo Burnham that he made this movie and that he gave it to us. Because I feel like I learned so much. And like I said before, like, so many things, like that car scene, the fire scene, there's so many things that he gives us that I'm like, I just felt like I learned so much about myself through the process of watching this movie. And you don't really get that a lot. But yeah. And then I would have a couple more notes. Um, the one, so after that, I think her dad gives her like a really big boost in her morale because when she's having her graduation, she like runs up to the girl from the pool party that has a pool party, and she's like basically telling her, like having a big moment saying like, I'm trying to be nice to you. I don't know why you hate me, and that game is
Yeah.
really fun. And I love that even in her big moment, she still makes absolutely no eye contact.
She's looking straight at the ground.
She doesn't look at her once because I that shows you that like Bo is so good at keeping characters consistent because I think I would have hated if she was like in other teen movies where they're like all of a sudden a different person just because like overnight, like she still is maintaining that awkwardness even though she's still like having a really big like fuck you moment.
Yeah.
And then my last couple notes and we can just go in because my King Gabe,
He's so funny.
I fucking love him. I this is there's a lot of memorable moments that I remember in theaters. Like one from Hereditary was obviously the car scene, but I think this is the next one because I when I first watched this, I my face hurt because I could not stop smiling.
Yeah.
It was the perfect ending to this movie. Like for one, he's an amazing host. He has so many dips and they're all perfectly aligned. And I'm pretty sure they're Roy G. Biv, the whole like I need to look that up. But and he tells her he if she wants to heat it up because she didn't know when she was coming, and then if she wants another sauce, he loves them all equally. I love him. And then the certificate.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of one of my pet peeves because she kind of does that when she's talking to that one kid with the eyes. She's
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
she's like priming him, like, please ask me about this or please notice this about me. I
They
don't know
do
if
kids do that though.
they do, and it bothers me. I don't know if Gabe did this if he wanted her to see that. He's like,
Of
ah,
course
it's
he
whatever.
did.
Five five bullseyes in one day.
It's it's stupid. I don't have to tell her. He's like, "Oh, it's stupid." And she says, she said, "No, I think it's really cool." And he's like, "Well, I think it's really stupid."
Yeah, yeah.
Where did Bo Burnham find this kid? I fucking love him. And then I also put, I mean, I don't know what they're if, they're like into each other, but she better fucking marry him. But yeah, my very last note is that that scene makes me very happy, and this movie is fucking perfect. There's absolutely nothing I would change about this movie. It's fucking perfect.
It's a quick hour 32.
Oh my God. Perfect timing. I forgot. I'm so glad that you made us watch this because I totally forgot how much I love this movie. I don't know why I didn't ride or die for this movie like I did for Parasite, but if I could go back in time, I would.
Good movie.
Such a good movie.
I'd probably go with Rotten Tomatoes, 99.
Oh,
Maybe,
same.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else before fun facts and before we go back to our last part of the interview?
No, yeah, let's just cut it straight to Kayla and her thoughts on eighth grade. So here's that. And we're back with Kayla. So, because the characters, I didn't realize this when I picked the movie, the main character's name is Kayla as well, spelled differently. We'll call Kayla, eighth grade Kayla, we'll call her by the actress's name, Elsie, from now on. So, Kayla, Tell us what you thought about eighth grade.
I mean, other than hearing my name a bunch and thinking somebody was calling me in my house, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Like I was saying, I knew it was a good movie because it made me so uncomfortable throughout the entire movie. I don't think there was ever a moment where I was just like at peace just watching a movie. I was just like triggered throughout the whole thing.
One thing that I saw in an interview with Bo Burnham and Elsie Fisher is that Elsie said in this movie they weaponized cringe, which I thought was a really good explanation
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Super cringy, but very
It was-
good.
Yeah.
Do you remember eighth grade, Kayla? How was eighth grade for you?
From what I can remember, I didn't make the volleyball team. So it
Shame
was
on them.
horrible. It was horrible. No, it wasn't like horrible. I mean, I think she had a worse experience than I did. She didn't really have any friends. I had a few. Um, I don't know, nothing like memorable. My principal used to ride in like motorcycles into our gyms during assemblies. And if you were like a special student, he would put you on the back and you would ride in with him. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
that was
that's
weird.
something if you put that in a movie, I'd be like, this is not realistic.
Everybody hated it. Nobody liked it but him. Oh, and by the way, my principal was who was also the principal of Jekka. So
Yeah,
if that
I wasn't gonna say his name, but
oh,
we
my
might have
principal was a former
Bleep it out.
oh,
Wait, bleep it out.
we might have to cut that. But I was gonna
I-
say your principal for middle school was mine in high school, and he did the same thing, and it was just as not impressive.
yeah. It
It
was
was
I don't know.
terrible. He didn't do the whole like you can sit on the back because I think that would be really weird for just a 18-year-old student to just sit on the back of his motorcycle riding it in.
Oh, something else I remember about him. I saw him like a couple years ago when I was like a junior in high school, and he was like, well, he knows my dad, and my dad's a principal too at a high school though. And he told me he was like, yeah, if you ever want to play a prank on your dad, you can just ditch class and come to my office again. And I was like, okay. And then I walked away, and I think he thought I was still in middle school. I think like I really think that. I don't know. It was just weird.
That's
It was a
super fun.
weird time.
God, middle schoolers look so young now. Like in the movie, I think because they told you obviously this is eighth graders, but I'm such a bad gauge of like ages, especially even with like Anthony and Homer. I have no clue. They asked us what Homer's age was recently because it was just his birthday. No fucking clue. So like in this movie, if it wasn't called eighth grade, would have no fucking idea.
Could have
Yeah, I
been
don't know.
fifth
They look
grade.
a lot. I don't know. They look a lot different than when I was in school. Because my brother is in eighth grade. And he's like 6'3" right now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think from what I remember, it was like that because well, we probably already established this by this time in the podcast, but it's not. It's so Bo Burnham wrote it, but he didn't write it from the perspective of him in eighth grade because it's very much somebody that is in eighth grade now, and so there wasn't a lot of parallel between my experience and Keila or Elsie's experience because of just the age difference, but like you said, the uncomfortability and just the feeling of like being ashamed of yourself for no reason is still so real to me. It felt like I was watching myself. And maybe that's what's uncomfortable about this movie is the mirror that it turns on you. And it was wild. What about
Well,
you, Anthony?
the reason I wanted Kayla to watch this movie, or I wanted you to be on specifically for this movie, uh, was because I remember when we saw it, you didn't like it as much as I did. But not only that, but you were like, yeah, it was okay. And that might have changed now, but I'm just interested, like, what happened?
Who are you?
No, honestly, Anthony, sometimes I just do that to mess with you. So it was really good.
That's the perfect way to mess with him too.
I'm cutting this out. All this
No,
entire interview.
you do it to me too. You do it to me
I'm
all the
I'm
time.
sure I do, but
You do. I make jokes, and he has told me
oh
multiple
yeah.
times that he doesn't laugh just to make me upset. Even though he thinks it's funny, he just won't laugh.
What a psycho.
Yeah, so that's a
Not
little
only
insight
does
to our
he
relationship.
control your DMs, but he also.
Okay, that wasn't my fault.
I think we need to reel up.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna say the word. I'm just gonna stop.
Evaluate.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll just
I'm
cut
not
that
gonna
in.
continue.
We'll cut it in so it sounds like you just said it with no problems.
Yeah, someone will do that. I don't know who, but someone will do that.
I bet so. I bet a lot of people do that though. I wonder if I do that with Sebastian, where I'm like, if I hear music, like I guess the same thing for me and him is he loves music, and I feel like if maybe I heard a song of his that he really liked, or I just didn't want to like, or like I feel like couples do that. That's just like a
You
weird
just,
thing to
you
be
just want to
like,
mess with your
yeah,
yeah. Just like
maybe.
I wonder what their reaction would be if I didn't like this as much as they did.
I feel like my parents do that with me because they know I try for it not to bother me, but it
Oh,
bothers me.
for
Like
sure.
this past weekend it happened.
Oh, for
So,
sure. That's where all of it comes from, Kayla. Everything.
oh, yeah. Is our parents because this weekend every Friday I do on our shared Instagram, I do like if you send in a mood or a genre you want, then I'll give a suggestion. And I can see you don't see who submits them, but I can see who like nobody else can see but me and Anthony basically.
Yeah.
And I saw that my dad asked for a comedy, and I was like, okay, so there's two things I can do with this. I can do one that I know he'll like, or I can try to challenge his tastes, which I knew he would. I would as soon as I wrote the two down, I'd picked
Stage one.
Joshy and the overnight, and I knew. I think part of me was like, I just want to make him watch one of these. And maybe he'll like it. I don't know. It's two movies where one of them is it's a completely improvised movie. But it has people that he likes. It has Thomas Middleditch, it has Adam Pally, it has a bunch of like Nick Kroll and people he would recognize. And so I was like, well, maybe he'll like it because he sees them. And then the overnight is the same way. It has what's the guy that's in Parks and Rec that plays Ben?
Adam
Adam
Scott. Adam
Scott.
Scott. It has somebody else, a bunch of other people, basically. Somebody from Orange is the New Black, but it's movies that are more of a dark comedy, especially Joshy. The way it opens up, the first scene is like super dark, and my dad he sounded like he was like really upset. I think he was talking to Anthony, right? He was like he commented or he like DM'd us and he put scam. But yeah, but then
Yeah.
I gave him a movie that I knew he would like, and he did, and I talked to him after. But I just feel like that's something that maybe our parents do, and
For
that's
sure.
why we do it.
I don't know.
Because my parents will always tell me they don't like something when they know I love it.
Moral of the story, I'm sorry, Kayla.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I do that with anybody else, but I don't think I do. I think it's just you.
Yeah.
Who did it first? Do you think he did it first to you, and that's why you do it?
Oh, for sure.
I
For
feel
sure he
like
did it. Because I asked him one time, I was like, okay, do you think I'm like not funny or like what is it? He's like, oh no, sometimes I just don't laugh just to mess with you.
That's
So
so funny.
And then like I want to laugh again, but it's hard to like force yourself to laugh, and it'll seem fake. So then there's just no point in laughing. But you are really funny, Kayla.
You
yeah.
know that movie with where Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy? And it's about him and his like girlfriend. I feel like I'm watching that right now.
I have not killed anyone.
Any final thoughts about 8th grade?
Yeah, I want to hear some
um,
scenes that you think you are the
I
Oh
have
better
some
yeah, a
ones.
memorable
notes.
scene.
I do. I have some notes. Let me look. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever had an alarm that's a song. I don't
Oh,
think I couldn't relate to that because I don't think I've ever had that happen. Because I don't think I could listen to a song like every day to wake me up.
You can't. Sorry, I feel like I have a story for everything you talk about, but
I have
I
another one
had
too.
I had a roommate that did that, and to this day, and I know exactly what song it is. I won't say it because who knows. But I had a roommate in college that did this very specific song, and every time I hear the song now, I fucking hate it.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Uh,
Kiss from a Rose would be so funny.
That's my alarm. No, but same
Mine,
thing. Who does that?
mine used to be when I was like, this was fifth grade, and uh, it's the worst song ever. Cause you want a song cause hers was like a pop song. It was like a upbeat song. Mine was so. If you heard it, you just go back to sleep again. It was "Human Nature" by Michael Jackson.
What the hell?
I don't know. I don't know, but I was like, that's a good song.
What a weird one.
Yeah.
I think you are a serial killer.
Just wake up.
What the hell?
I honestly
Did
don't
you have
know.
to buy it? Like, did you have
No.
to buy it as a ringtone?
That's
Actually,
so funny.
I don't know. No, I had an iPhone for sure. So it must have been like, it might have been eighth grade. No,
God,
it was probably sixth or seventh. I don't know.
that's so
That's my story.
wow.
What is,
Oh, okay. And then the rest of my notes just have to do with the disrespect towards her father. I could not get over it. It made me so upset.
Yeah.
Just like he was being so nice. He was being so nice.
Yeah, but I bet that's how, like, if you were to watch a movie of how you treated your parents when you were that age, maybe it might be the same. I don't know. For me, it might probably, because I probably don't talk that well to my parents. I don't treat them that well. And
Yeah,
they're
but
just
it's always
weird
just
enough.
like a playing, like it's a back and forward kind of thing. But he was being like genuinely nice to her, and he's just like, "Fuck you, Dad. I don't even like you." So I don't know.
I think it plays into one thing I really love about this movie is the moments that I feel like he doesn't you don't have to say a lot. Like it's kind of you just read between the lines. Like you can tell that it all has to do a lot of it has to do with her mom. Like she's actually upset at her mom, but the only person she can take it out on is her dad. And then her dad feels bad, so he doesn't want to like be mad at her,
Mhm.
so it's like a vicious cycle that somebody else created and they're just like living in.
See, that
Such a
makes so
good
much sense.
dynamic. Yeah.
Okay, I take it back.
No, but I think that's why they like. But that's it. And also, I think it also is like not a commentary, but he's trying to make a joke of like, I've seen teens treat their parents like that, So like, it's not that out of the ordinary. I mean, we used to work at Target. Oh my God, the way some kids would treat their parents, I was like, what the fuck is going on? So yeah,
I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared about that. Not as a like me being a parent, but I want to be a teacher. And I don't know. I'm just scared they're gonna be like, "You're the reason my kid's failing." I'm like, "Am I? Am I? Is that me?"
see, the key to that is that every time they make a joke, don't laugh.
Just continue the cycle for
Yeah, every
hundreds of kids.
time they say they like something, don't
oh,
respond.
I
So
was
you hate it.
genuinely confused. I was like, what are you talking about?
That's what we call back in the biz, Anthony. Come on.
I know, but my brain just didn't. In this 1 second, I don't know. That was it. Yeah. All right. Right
Oh,
on.
that's so funny. Um, but yeah, and then my absolute last note was Rick and Morty brings everybody together. It was so sweet. As a
Yeah.
friend. So
I
happy
can't
ending.
wait to talk about that scene. It's my favorite.
So
It's it's so good. But it's like probably the sweetest scene, but it's also the most cringy to watch. Because
Mhm.
I don't deal well with affection, so seeing them being nice to each other, I was like, what's going on?
They laughed
Oh
at
my gosh.
your
No,
joke.
I was the exact opposite. I was like, oh, like he doesn't care what sauce he gets. He wants her to be like happy.
Because he likes them all
Oh,
equally.
yeah. He was like, so you can have whichever, because I'll eat
Aw.
whatever. So that was sweet. Um, and then I have one question. Do you guys like eighth grade more or mid 90s?
Hmm.
Good question. Good
That is a
cue.
very good.
Good cue.
I'm taking over,
Well,
so
here's a quick A. 8th grade.
Why?
Uh, I don't know. I feel like I took more from it. Also, the music. I'm sure I talked about this on the main episode, but the music is just it pairs so well. And every time I compliment a music in a film, I say that it just pairs so well. It's just it's the cheese to the wine, bro. It's
You're like
just
a sommelier.
yeah, it's so perfect for this.
I I think I haven't seen. Okay, so I think I like eighth grade more, and one of the reasons I think is because I've only seen Mid-90s once, and that was when I saw it in theaters. And
Same here.
I haven't had the like need to see it again. And I usually don't rewatch movies a ton. And to be honest, when Anthony was like, "Oh, we should do eighth grade," I was kind of like, but then when I started watching it, I loved every minute of it. There was no part where I was bored. And I feel like for mid-90s, I can feel myself being like, okay, during that part, I can be on my phone. Like I love what they both did, but I feel like eighth grade, as like I feel like it goes down to the filmmakers, and Bo Burnham is just the kind of filmmaker I like more than Jonah Hill, I think. Even though I like both of them. I just feel like Bo Burnham did something amazing, and I can't wait to see what he does next. And then Jonah Hill like did something great, but I want to see what he does next. I'm more excited for whatever happens after this.
I'd also
that makes
need to
sense.
give a rewatch for mid 90s to give a more complete answer. But
Yeah.
just right now, because I feel also 8th grade is on fresh on my mind. There's that meme where it's a cycle. It's like the movie I just saw, and then it points to that is the my favorite movie of all time, and then it goes back up to the movie I saw, and then it's just a cycle. I feel like that sometimes. So I feel like if I watched mid 90s, I might say that. But 8th grade, I really
Yeah.
like.
I don't know. I don't feel myself even after watching mid-90s being like, "Oh, this is better." Or I like this better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
Well, do you guys feel like you could relate to eighth grade more than you can relate to mid 90s?
Yeah, I never was and never will be into skating, so or
I,
skateboarding.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't have a skate park nearby, but I used to always go outside and skate with my friends, like just go around, have fun. Kind of like in mid 90s. I mean, it wasn't doing anything crazy, but I don't know.
Good question though.
Okay.
Very good.
I would have never
Yeah.
thought to compare them, but yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I saw. Oh, I think I like them equally. I don't know. You guys like are really into eighth grade, and like I liked it, but I don't think it was like amazing. I can see how you think it is. Um, I think I like them both equally because I think they did the same thing, and I don't know if one did one better for me. Um, like they're both really good. They both like told a story about a certain like era growing up. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I like them both.
that's why for me it just comes down to the filmmakers themselves and their styles. And it's kind of hard to like specifically say what their styles are right now because this is both of their first movies they're making.
Hmm.
But I think if I were to look at like 10 years from now, look at Bo Burnham's versus Jonah Hill's body of work, my sensibilities will probably align more with Bo Burnham. I just feel that just by watching the stuff he's done previously.
That makes sense. It was really good. I liked it.
All right. Thank you, Kayla, for joining us.
Thanks for
Yes.
having me.
And we're back. Thank you again, Kayla. I know. I don't know. Just thank you for being on the.
Well,
I
I
started off.
know that she was, I don't know, well, I'll just say it. She was nervous about it, but she did amazing. I think this was one of my favorite interviews that we've done.
Yeah, I'm really excited to put this episode out because I feel like I don't know. I want to. Oh, this is going to be different. Some stuff will be different. With the way
It's not
that
like
we
the,
end,
it's not like the other episodes.
it's just not. And it probably it. I don't know because I won't know until before I post it. Like right before, if it'll be our first 2 hour episode because we've been getting real close. We've been knocking on the door of 2 hours, but we haven't gotten there first.
Breaking our
So,
rule of an hour and a half.
is it a rule that we
I
have?
mean, like the movie rule.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everything should be an hour and a half, except for our
Why do
podcast.
people think that they should be more than 2 hours? All right,
This might
ready
be
for
it though.
some fun facts?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have a lot because I talked about most of them during the body of this episode, but here's a few. Filming began 1 week after Elsie Fisher graduated 8th grade, so it's fresh on her mind.
Heck yeah.
Um, and I think this is the second time I've mentioned Barack Obama, but let's go for it.
This is the first, but there will be another.
Oh, okay, there will be another one, so look out. No, no, no. We've already done the interviews.
Oh, yeah,
Come
you're right. Second
All
time.
right, so this was listed as one of former U.S. President Barack Obama's favorite films of 2018.
What a man.
Love a. Never mind.
Don't.
All right. Um, the credit sequence at the the credit sequence, so like the end credit sequence of the red, green, and blue pixels is revealed in the commentary as actual Keila YouTube videos, just shot on a super high focus lens on a computer.
Heck yeah.
Which amazing. Okay, and the last one, I have some visual references for Anthony. So, director Bo Burnham teased 8th grade with a photo on his social media accounts, but he did not actually state what the photo meant. So if you open up the first post in question, can you explain to our audience what is on it?
Okay. So it's Bo Burnham on the right and LZ Fisher on the left, and they're walking away from the camera. Bo
And it's
Burnham's
like
dressed in all black. It's like there's like a gradient. There's like obviously an Instagram filter on it.
also super low quality.
Yeah, it seems like he kidnapped her almost.
And there's no caption whatsoever.
Oh, no caption. I can't see that. No caption.
Yeah.
He's wearing all black. She's wearing maybe an oversized t-shirt, maybe a skirt, and a Pokemon bomber or like a
Oh, I didn't
jacket.
even know that was Pokemon. And this was posted August 12th of 2017. Okay, and then the next photo.
The next photo is LZ Fisher in her room in character, I believe. I mean,
It's like a screenshot of the film, basically.
yeah, of her looking at her laptop.
Okay,
The
and so
pink.
the before was the post in question. So that was the one that he posted with no context. He didn't say anything about it, just a picture of him and a girl walking away from a camera. The second one is a screen cap of the movie, and he has a caption. I wrote and directed a movie that is premiering at the Sundance Film Festival this Friday. It's called 8th grade. And this was January 15th, 2018, and this was the post right after that one. So he didn't post. So he posted in August, didn't post at all, and then posted in January that he was that he put this movie out. So I just thought that was a cute little
That's really
deep
funny.
dive. But yeah, so I scrolled through his Instagram and I found both of the posts. But yeah, those are the last fun facts.
What a fun movie.
Oh yeah, dude. I don't know if we said final. I said my final thoughts that this movie's perfect.
I said my final thoughts.
All right.
Well, before that, gosh, I always plug our socials at the very end.
You did at the beginning.
Oh, well,
Kind of.
here it is. Here it is again. Let us know what you guys thought about 8th grade. DM us, comment on our post on Instagram, or tweet at us. Our Instagram handle is @BrotherSisterShow, and our Twitter, because they don't allow handles longer than 15 characters, is @BrosisShow. Um, but if you just go to our Instagram, you can find everything else. But yeah, so now for my pick. I'm excited.
This is
I think,
scary because I can't see you at. Oh, now I can.
well, yeah, because it got dark.
Okay.
So we're gonna be watching Along Came Polly on HBO because I want to watch a funny rom-com, and that's the movie for us. It's on HBO, HBO Go,
HBO
wherever you watch
Now.
HBO. Yeah,
I'm
I feel like
excited.
I feel like this is a big one for our childhood as well. But
And
for
I'm
the life
sorry.
of me, I can't remember a whole like
Oh,
all of the movie.
really?
Yeah,
Have you not fully seen it?
I feel like I have, but it's been a long time.
Oh, wow. And this is one of the movies too that we grew up watching, and it and like when I would bring it up to people, it's okay. So you know how like when you're a kid and you watch something and you think everybody else has seen it. This is one of those movies where I would talk about it and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
I love this movie, and everybody's so good in it. I cannot wait to talk about Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, so excited.
yeah. I
So
feel like this is one of
fucking
those
good.
movies. How last episode you talked about how you didn't really know the references that or that Sebastian used were from Spider-Man. I feel like that'll be that for me, where I feel like there'll be some references from
Yes.
this movie that'll be like, whoa, I had no idea that this is where my parents got this from or whatever.
Oh, I can think of like three already.
Yeah, I'm excited to rediscover that or discover that.
Yeah. All right, I'm excited.
Yeah. I believe this is going to be our first 2-hour episode, so thank you guys
Sorry.
for listening all the way to the end.
Hopefully it was good. Hopefully I convinced at least one person. I think maybe I convinced Kayla to like this movie, but hopefully I at least convinced one person to like this movie. Alrighty. We'll see you next time.
Thank you guys. Gucci.
Oh yeah, I forgot.